service level agreements. Okay, so an agreement that happens between service provider and then consumer, okay, is treated as a SLA. This is called service level agreements. Okay, now to provide this service, okay, to to be lined up with your agreement with the consumer, it is not easy for service providers, right? Let us say in this case you can take Infosys or IBM as an example. Let us say in this case service provider is an IBM. Okay, so if IBM is agreeing as to support this solution, like to some company like Straight Street. Okay, there are various big companies lined up for IBM. Okay, those are their clients. Okay, so example, in that case, the agreement that happened with this consumer and then IBM is called as a SLA. Now, let us say a new project has come up. Now, you agreed it. Okay, IBM agreed that I will be taking care of your emails. I will be taking care of your monitoring solutions. Okay, I will be taking care of your storage solutions. Okay, monitoring products, storage products, database products, everything, like because we have those capabilities with us. So databases, storage devices, so all that support, all the technical support we will be providing you. Okay, that is what IBM and then consumer agreed. If that happened, to live with this agreement, okay, assuming that they are saying like from this month is August, right? Assuming that they will be starting off this project from, okay, let's say they gave 3 months. Okay, we agreed, we signed a contract today, and you are saying like you will be providing support from 1st of December. Okay, this is what they agreed. From the 1st of December, you need to start off this product support. If that need to happen, okay, your IBM should be able to provide resources to these particular teams, right? At high level, the senior management agreed to provide this service to these customers. But where are those resources? Assuming that to provide this level of support, you probably requiring some 2000 resources. Okay, assuming that this project is demanding 2000 resources. Is that easy to get the 2000 resources? Can you call out? Is this easy? Heaven?
No, it's
What you
not.
have to do
So
to support these 2000 resources, you need support from your internal departments. Okay, you have your internal departments, they need to provide a support. Okay, you will have your HR teams. Okay, you will have your HR folks. I'm having your HR teams. Okay, I think it's not useful. I'm trying to create a box. Okay, let me just create some other box. You have your HR folks, okay, and you have your individual technology teams, okay, competencies, okay, and then if you have recruited 2000 resources, where those resources should be sitting in, they need to have a place to sit, right? Agree?
yeah,
You
Yes, yes.
cannot
Yes,
have
sir.
them sitting on floors. Okay, so you need like people to sit on, you need a support from operations team, right? You need uh, this floor operations team, ops. Okay, so there are various other teams. They should provide you the facilities. They should provide you like an onboarding process. They should provide you some technical laptops, desktops. Okay, technical teams. Okay, so all these teams, like they should be providing the support. Only then, like you will be able to live up with your agreement. Is that right or not? Okay, now you
Okay.
agreed, I will be starting my project from 1st of December. But if they say, hey guys, you are agreeing that like, this is August, okay, and August is almost gone. We just have September, October, and November, 3 months. Okay, just each resources to join, like, they're saying they have 3 months notice period. Okay, how can you say that? Like, at least you should say that, we need some time, some turnaround time to do that. Okay, or else, like, let us say, okay, 3 months is okay. Now if the customer is agreeing, so I will be starting with 1st of September. Is HRs are going to support this? Okay, if you are saying like, I will be starting this project from September 1st, are you able to live up with your agreement? Is it possible?
No,
So
no.
before you agree, you will have an agreement with your local providers. Okay, your internal service providers. HR is a service, facilities is a service. Okay, your the other technical operations is a service. You need to have a concurrent. You need to have an agreement from your internal service providers. Only then, at high level, you can go and agree with your customer. So you to live up with your service level agreement, you have your internal agreement. Okay, your internal agreement is called, okay, so now you want to say this will be started from December. Okay, now to live up with this requirement, you will have an internal agreement with your customers, so your internal service providers, that is called OLAs, operational level agreements. So IBM internally going to check, have an agreement with your OLA. Let us say I am the competency leader. Tomorrow I received a project to deploy ServiceNow for one of the big client. Okay, to do that I need 10 resources. Okay, and the customer is saying I need this project to be completed by some March 1st. So that like I need to start it off at least like 3 to 4 months before. To start it off, I need resources. To commit on that, I need a support from HR. So HR should give some level of increment. Hey guys, give us 3 months turnaround time. Only then we will be able to support the resources. Okay. That agreement between your internal service providers is called OLAs, operational level agreements. Now you understood the difference between OLA and SLA? Any questions?
No, sir. Uh, yes, I understood.
Good. This is clear, right? Okay.
Yes.
Now, a large companies like IBM, Infosys, they will not just depend on their local HR support staff. Okay. And then also you need 2000 resources. It is not easy to get them in 3 months of time period. For 2000 resources, you also need facilities. Okay, so to live up with your expectations, okay, you will have under level, the other level of support from vendors. Okay, HR vendors, these are consultancies. Okay, so buildings, okay, SEZ buildings. Okay, so they will be agreeing like to provide facility services. Okay, and then like companies like Dell, they will be saying that like give us a 3 months time period, like we will supply you the laptops. Okay, example. So these guys are going to will always going to have an agreement with you. If you order something to us, we will be able to provide like laptops in 3 months notice period. To before you are signing on your service level agreement with the consumer, we will be able to consumer services. You need to have your local setup ready or not, right? So you internally will have another level of agreement with your internal service vendors. Okay, your vendor should be giving you like an agreement that yes, we will be able to deliver expected thing within the agreed time. Okay, so yeah, we will give us 3 months time period, we will arrange. Okay, so the agreement that happens between your company and then the underlying vendors, This is called underpending contracts. Okay, these are called UCs. These are called UCs, underpending contracts. Okay, now there are three types of agreements: service level agreements, operational level agreements, and underpending contracts. Is this topic is clear now? The difference between these agreements. Okay,
Yes, sir.
the agreement that happens between consumer and then who is going to provide the service is called service level agreement. That agreement that happens between the company and then internal, okay, operational teams who will be providing the operational level support called OLS. Agreement between the service provider and then suppliers. These are called suppliers, resource suppliers, facility suppliers, and then equipment suppliers. So is called underpending contracts. Good. Any questions? I'll take a pause.
No, sir. It is pretty clear.
No, sir.
Aman?
It's clear.
Okay, perfect. Okay, now with this context, okay, we will go into the tool. Okay, we will be, talking more from the, tool context point of. Okay, now let's go to our technical component. Okay, so now we said, one of the agreement. Okay, I'll be talking about one of the agreement here. One of the agreement that talks about here, we will take care of your databases. Okay, we will take care of your databases support. The agreement says, okay, the agreement says if there is anything, now let's talk about, no, I'm just talking about one of the technical component, one of the agreement. Okay, agreement says we will be providing, okay, we'll be providing the technical support for your databases, database platforms in following way. Okay, what is it? If there is any case, if there is any case that is with P1, we will be supporting, we will be resolving it in 4 hours. If there is any P1 case initiated, we will be resolving it 4 hours. Okay, if it is a P2, okay, if it is a P1, okay, it is 4 hours. If it is a P2, we will be doing it in 8 hours. Okay. If it is P3, okay, we will be doing it in 2 days. Okay. If it is P4, okay, we will be doing it in, okay, maybe 3 days. Okay. So this is what we are agreeing. And within this one, okay, internally, okay, this is what, your customer agreed at high level. Okay, in your initial, SOW we call, when the initial contract agreed, we will call it out as a SOW. Okay, a kind of a statement of work that you are agreeing to deliver. So it says that again, it will be further drilled down. Now you agreed that if there is any incident created, we will be resolving in 4 hours, resolving in 8 hours, P2, P3 in 2 days, P4 in 3 days. Okay, now the customer says, okay, I will be further taking down into my matrix. Now this is what the customer agreed in high level. Now at low level in the detailed design, okay, the whole service is 4 hours. Again, customer said, you said you will be resolving it in 4 hours. Okay, but now what if you have not even responded until 3 hour 50 minutes? He will be almost scared, right? Okay, so that is why he will be further drilling down this SLA into 2 parts. One is response SLA and then resolution SLA. So you can, by name itself, you can classify that response SLA. You don't have to resolve the incident, but you have to respond to that. Okay, the initial response, yes, I am working on this incident, I need to categorize it. Okay, the customer will treat that as a, okay, yes, people responded, it is fine. Resolution, you have to provide the resolution, to come out of that service gap. Okay, you need to restore that particular service. So that is called resolution SLA. So this 4 hours SLA, what you are saying is, I will be taking 15 minutes to respond. That is why in real time, like, people will be carrying mobiles all the time with them. They will be carrying their laptops also, because in the high level they probably have agreed that if there is any call, immediately they need to log in and then set the incident status to in progress within these 15 minutes to make sure they have responded. Okay, for resolution you can take 4 hours. Okay, that can be starting from your incident creation. Similarly for P2, for P3, for P4. Let us say for P2, I'm saying resolution will be, sorry, response will be 1 hour. Response SLA 1 hour, and resolution is of course 8 hours. Now similarly for P3, okay, for P3 I can say that response SLA can be 4 hours, or a resolution can be 2 days. Okay, 2 days. And for P4, response can be 1 day and resolution can be 3 days. Resolution can be 3 days. So this is how you will be agreeing internally. You will be further agreeing it. What I mean to say, you will be further agreeing like, how this need to be classified. Okay. Now you can understand that, right? The difference between response SLA and resolution SLA. Okay, so I am saying, like, for P1 at a high level we agreed 4 hours, but response is categorized as 15 and resolution categorized as a 4 hours. Okay, and for P2 8, and we further drill down like this. P3 2 and drill down like this. So your high level agreement that you will be configuring in your SOW looks like this. Okay, so to just ensure that you are providing a smooth service support to the end user. Now you understood the process. What is the difference between response SLA and resolution SLA? Any question? Heman?
No, sir.
Chaitanya? No?
No, sir.
Rani? Is that clear, Rani?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
I was talking on mute, sorry.
Okay. So now you understood the requirement, right? Now let's see how do you configure in service now. Okay. Before you do that, okay, we talked about a lot about incident process in the morning, right? Let's go to incident. Okay. Now if you go to incident, okay, let's create one incident. This is ServiceNow is offering some kind of SLAs. We may wanted to follow that, or we may not wanted to follow that. Decision is ours. Let's say Abel Tutor is creating a case, and then case is about database. Okay, and then if the case is database, assuming that, okay, right now there is no group. Let's see what's happening here. Test. Okay, test database ticket. Sorry. And then saving it. Now the database category ticket is been assigned. So by default, what is happening? If the category is database, we are assigning it to the software team. Okay. Now let's come down here. Okay. You can see under the SLA section, task SLA section, there are some SLAs which are already configured. Okay. Priority for response SLA is 8 hours. Priority for resolution SLA is 2 days, is what is currently configured. In your workshop, you have a different requirement. Do you still want to follow this process, or do you want to move away? Do you want to modify this, or do you want to configure new? It is all up to us. Now, if you go down to priority, change the priority to high and then high. it is a critical ticket, okay, and assign it to someone. For a moment, like let's not assign it. Test, we made it to critical. Again, like major incident process, all that will start off. That is fine. Come down to the SLA. If you can look into this one, see the whole previous SLAs, priority 4 SLAs were cancelled. You can see that priority 4 SLAs were cancelled. Okay, and then priority 1 SLAs were attached. In this requirement, out of the box system is saying priority 1 SLA response time is 15 minutes, is what is, and our customer is also saying it is mapping, so you can live with that. Okay, and then priority 1 resolution SLA, they're saying we will be providing if being it's a critical incident, they need to resolve it in 1 hour. It depends on the product. Okay, how critical is that product and how your support structure also. If it is a 1 hour support and you are agreeing and then 24/7, then what happens? Internally, you will have to provide 24/7. If it is 2000 resources, if you need to provide 24/7, then you should be amplifying with 3, which means you will be coming up to 6,000 resources. In the current assumption, it could be we are following only business days. If we are saying we will be providing 24/7 support, then the numbers will grow up. So it all depends on the agreement. Okay, what exactly you're supporting. It's fine. So this is how your service now right now is cancelling the previous SLAs and attaching the new SLAs. Now you can see the business elapsed time. It is growing. Okay, business already 1 minute passed. The ticket has been created at certain point. Okay, we still have only 13 minutes left. It will keep on updating. Now, if the according to this particular definition, we don't know how this is defined. Let's test it. Okay, let's test this particular priority 1 response SLA, which is still in progress. Okay, which means that is active. If I'm assigning to an individual, I tell user and save that, then what happens? The ticket will be automatically progresses to in progress. That is internal design. Now it is assigned, somebody already assigned to this one, which means we acknowledged it. So it is still go to in progress. Come down and see what's happened. Yeah, we completed it. Okay, and then there is an additional field you can introduce into this right side. SLA met or not. Okay, reach time, okay, stage has breached. Okay, this is important field. Okay, if you add it, you will come to know. So this will say whether this is breached or not. Okay, now we will test it and then see how that will be turned out to. Okay, now you can see that where is that field? Has breached. Yeah, you can see false. If it is true, which means SLA is breached. What happens is when you are agreeing in SLA, your SLA may not be just talking about numbers. Your SLA may say that, hey guys, I am going to ask you to support my very critical banking solution, which is running on a storage device, a database device. Okay, so this application is very critical to us. Can you support? IBM is agreeing, yeah, we will do that. Remember one thing when you are agreeing, because if you are not able to restore the solution within 1 hour, our business loss is going to be very huge. So you are agreeing. If you fail to deliver that service, will you be paying that compensation penalty? Now it will be based on our internal confidence. If IBM is sure that we will be able to provide that service within 1 hour, we will be agreeing, or else we will not be agreeing. If we are agreeing, we need to have that internal potential. Okay, so according to that, we will be configuring these notifications and then other blah blah, so that we will be making sure we are delivering that service within 1 hour. Okay, which means less than 59 seconds. So 59 minutes 59 seconds. Okay, even if 1 second passed, what happens is this will become true. This will become true. If one ticket is true, according to your internal conditions, what happens is you will be paying back to the customer rather than consumer is paying something to you. There are instances in my experience I have seen, okay, wherein for example, let us say we've been supplying some 2 million project in a year, example, okay, comprises around 10 members of resources in it. After we delivering, complete end of the year, we probably receiving maybe 10 million as a revenue, but we failed to deliver the service because certain escalations happened, SLAs missed. In return, we have paid around 15 millions back to the customer. Okay, so that is how it will be. So you have to be very, very careful. It is not that you are getting a project, it also what kind of agreements that you are going into it. So that is why people who are working on shifts, people who are working on critical applications, they will be always trying to be very, very cautious about these SLAs. Okay, any questions so far? If you're good, according to our
Yes, sir.
particular things, yeah, according to our particular stuff, we will configure our job and then we will test it. I will disable all the existing ones just to ensure. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's pick up one requirement and then I will definitely ask you also to practice it. Okay, now let's go to service level agreements. Go to service level management and go to the service level agreements. Go to SLA definitions, click here. So this will be placeholder to define your SLAs. Okay, again, it's the tables that you decide. Right now, filter by incident. On incident, you have around 14 SLAs. Okay, filter again SLAs. We have various types of SLAs, right? OLS, SLAs, XYZ. There are around 11 SLAs. You can see that on various conditions. Okay, so we will talk about those conditions. Okay, now, so these are various SLAs which we have. Now, all these SLAs are active at this point in time. Let's add status field here. State or active, true or false. These are all active. Okay, now let's deactivate all of them. I will select shift. You can control select all of them. I can modify all like this. All choice fields. Usually we have this option. False. Update it. 9 of them were already updated. 2 missed. Okay. Filter by true. We can use modify all also. And you can use this feature also. You can select multiple records like this. Okay, the system is not allowing me to update because these are related to ATF. Leave it. Okay, ATF is not allowing me because of security reasons. It's okay for me. Now let's test that my incident. Now it's a greenfield implementation. We are not having anything. You can take a chance to modify the existing one also in your real-time implementation. But what happens is all the customers, they will say that uh, remove all the existing data and they will configure it. Okay, and also they will follow certain naming conventions for these names. I will talk about it. Now let's test it. Okay, go to your incident system. Go to your incident system, create a new record. Able tutor. Pick up same example, database. Test. Save it. Now come
Sir,
down.
why am I not getting the caller name, sir, when I'm trying to? I mean, the dashboard is completely different when I'm trying to create a new instance simultaneously. I don't see the caller name here at my end. I just see name type target.
Which one? Can you share your screen? I don't know. Let me see your screen.
Just 1 minute, sir. I'll log in. I'll log in and share the screen. Just one quick minute, sir.
You probably opening in a different view. That also could be a thing. Check out this view. Okay. If you are opening in a default view, you will be able to see this view. If you are opening in self-service view, then different, because what happens is, like, maybe there could be a possibility if you type incident, there is another view called I explained in the morning. Okay. If you're
I'm
opening a
not in the
ticket,
self-service.
yeah, just check it out.
Directly went to the. Okay, sir. I'll check one second.
Open it up and then I will check that. Okay.
Yes,
Now
sir.
I have
One
saved
second.
it. Okay. And then meanwhile, like if I look into this task SLA, there are no SLAs attached. Can you verify this? We will build something completely new. Okay. Now let's go to SLA definition. Pick up your requirement. We will do it for P1. Okay. Priority 1. Okay. Our priority 1 SLA says 15 minutes and then 4 hours. Resolution is 15 minutes and response is 15 minutes and resolution is 4 hours for P1 tickets. Okay. Now go to your SLA definition. You can go to your SLA definition. Type SLA definition. I can simply go back to all, that is fine, but I want to show you like this and click on view. For every SLA, according to company, what happens is you will be writing in a section. Okay, because when you are agreeing with your customer, you will have a document. In the document you will have a section name like 2.2. This is the SLA for this particular operational support. 2.2.3, 2.2.1. So you may follow that terminology, or you may give some different number, or you may follow simple or a database support SLA or a database SLA. See, for some companies they just follow, but there are companies they follow because in some scenarios, for example, let us say Wells Fargo, it's a big company, right? So to manage their support operations, they are depending on multiple technology providers. Like the IBM is doing it, Infosys is doing it, is Accenture is doing. So how they will be determining their contracts? So what they do is IBM to Wells Fargo example. Okay, IBM to Wells Fargo and database support like this. If they are having another contractual agreement between IBM to the other company, they will do that as well. So now this is how you will be providing database support, or else you can say, instead of saying database, DB, and is it a response SLA or resolution SLA? Response. Okay, and just by looking at it, you should be able to know everything. Is it 15 minutes or 1 hour? We can say, just for your quick classification, you are saying 15 minutes. And what kind of SLA it is? Is it a SLA, OLA, or UC? We talked about it. In our case, this is going to be SLA because we are having agreement between IBM and Wells Fargo. And what kind of SLA it is again? Is it a response or a resolution? Response SLA. On which process you want to attach? Is it for incident or a problem or a change? You can select the respective table. So incident is by default selected. You can change it if you want to any table you wish. And this is the default workflow. What this flow tells you is, okay, the flow will explain like, sequential steps. For example, now you said like, within 15 minutes, I will be delivering the support. Okay, within 15 minutes, what should happen? Your system says for within 5 minutes, if you have responded, that is fine. Otherwise, the system will send an email to your manager. Fifth minute, it will send an email to your manager. Within 7 minutes, if your manager is also did not respond, it will go down to your senior manager within 8 minutes. 9 minutes, so that like your flow will tell you, okay, how this should be achieved within 15 minutes. Or else sometimes, okay, you may want to send out some pagers, or you may want to send out like some alarms, you may want to send out like some telecallers. So all that flow is already internally designed. Okay, and if you want to further customize this, we can do that. Okay, we will talk about this topic when we are talking about flow designers. For a moment, leave that. Okay, we have flow designer topic that will give you some level of idea how these flows will work. Okay, we have this topic. Okay, so now I'll not be jumping into this flow designer for a moment. I'll just keep quiet. So this is what default one. If your customer is, because ideally we will not be modifying it. Okay, but if your customer is insisting, then we will be doing it. Logging is for your testing purpose. If you want to do that, you will enable that. Okay, now come towards the right section. You are building a global application. If you are building any store based applications like or a scoped application, then you will select that scope and then do that. By default it will be global. Now duration, how, from where this duration is going to come. Okay, if you are maintaining your duration in your respective table, let us say your table is defining based on some condition, you have some logic, or from some other tool it is coming up, you select a field from your incident table, you can do that. Okay, or else you specify duration here. Okay, if you want to select a field, you can do that. Okay, now otherwise you can provide like this particular value. So very clear: days, hours, minutes, seconds. 15 minutes is my requirement. Done. Now source, SLA definition. Okay, so this one will talk about particularly the source of a schedule. Schedule in the sense like there are companies, they agrees to provide 24/7 support or 8/5 support or 8 by 24 by 5 24 by 5 support, 24/7 or 16/5 support. It all depends on what kind of support that you are providing. Okay, so if it is a 24/7, select it. For P1 tickets, we usually go for these schedules. Okay, and time zone, in which time zone you want to provide that support. Okay, so you will provide that caller time zone or a GMT time zone or a Pacific time zone, or based on the business services, because these are the values that you will be selecting from table. You can define that. Okay, so by default we will be leaving to caller time zone. Now right, SLA name you provided, type of SLA, target, response, table, default flow, and then what duration it is and what kind of SLA it is. Now come down to the next section. Okay, you said, okay, response SLA should be attached to the ticket in 15 days. Now how that SLA should be behaved, when it should be attached, okay, when it should be starting, when it should be stopping. Okay, and this is the place where you will be saying start condition, stop condition. If you are resolving a case, you probably need support from your end user. End user should supply some details. That's not your problem, right? Okay, in that case you will pause the condition. So for response we usually do not pause it, but for resolution we do that. Okay, so you can mention that. Okay, now let's say I want to say I want to attach this particular start condition is if state is equal to 0. State is attach if state is new. Okay, now the start condition is state is new. You want to cancel it for some reason, then it is fine. Otherwise leave this particular option. Now response SLA will not be passed. We will talk about it in the resolution SLA. And count down to stop condition. If the state reaches to, okay, if the state reaches to in progress, treat this particular ticket is responded. And then you stop this SLA. Otherwise, you fail this SLA. Save this. Simple condition. When this should be started, okay, and when this should be stopped. Just both two conditions. Okay, but the key criteria is this one, what you are supplying. Test it now. Okay, come down to the system. Incident. An incident. Okay, and then create it. Typeable tutor. Okay, and then attach it. So a couple of bugs you have to carefully observe. Okay, now I have added it. Scroll down. SLA is attached. Okay. Now, if you look into this one, okay, there is a bug. I want you to notice it. Okay. There are in fact two bugs. Okay. I hope you will further identify that. Now this SLA is attached. Okay. If you can see this, my priority is low. For a low, do I want like in 15-minute SLA? Is that correct? Is that correct? It should be for P1 only, right? For a P4, I have not said anything. Correct.
Yes.
Where do you maintain that condition? You will be maintaining that condition here, and priority is equal to P1. Now you understood? How do you tune it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you have saved it. Let's create another incident. And there is one more bug. Okay, I'm going to create
Oops.
another. Sorry?
No, sir, I was trying to create an incident in the service SLA definition record. So that's why I couldn't see. So sorry, it was a blunder mistake.
Okay, fine. Now I have created P4 ticket. Is there any SLA attached? Okay. No. Let's change the priority to high, critical, save this one and come down. Okay. SLA is attached. But there is still one more bug. Looking at the definition, I'm saying this should be attached to only for the DB related tickets, right? Not for everybody. Agree?
Yes, sir.
But it is attached to everybody. For inquiry also 15 minutes SLU. What is? It's crazy, right? How do you fix it? Again, you
I mean,
make sure, okay, again you make sure
Assignment.
either
category or
category, yeah,
Category.
you
yes.
can take either category, or if the because the SLAs are defined in the different ways. Okay, you may, if only one single provider, then you may go for category. But if there are multiple service providers, for example, if I say that Wells Fargo is also having IBM, Wells Fargo is also having TCS as a service provider, Wells Fargo is also having, different other technical providers. For example, let us say a banking solution, it would, you are installing a database on a Windows server. Okay, and Windows server will be supported by your IBM. Okay, and then database will be supported by TCS, and then your applications will be supported by Infosys. So but whole service will be consumed by customers. Fine. Now if there is any initial issue, you will be categorizing as a database. But your respective teams, your Infosys teams, your IBM teams, your other teams also will be available here. Now how do you control this SLA? You as a Wells Fargo, you will be having with your service providers, not based on the category. So now it is up to you decide it. Okay. Now this is where one of the important interview question. Now let us say I am a Infosys person. I agreed with the Wells Fargo stating that if there is a issue, P1 issue, I will be responding in 15 minutes. Fine. Okay. Now only thing well, but by then already 15 minutes is completed. Should I be responsible for failed SLA? Because there will be only one SLA will be attached in this case. Correct. Now, who will be taking that ownership? Should I take it? Should I take it? Already 14 minutes completed. You haven't worked anything on this. And after 14 minutes, you are simply coming and assigning it to somebody who will be taking care of this lost time. So that is where,
Company.
yeah, that is where you have a feature called retroactive start. When I said retroactive start, it will set back to created date. The calculation goes back to created date. You can put it. Okay. So again, now for our testing purpose, I'm saying like this SLA will be attached to only the database. Okay. Is this clear?
Okay.
remove this retroactive start because we are talking about only single vendor case. That is why I used category. Okay. Now you have perfectly designed your start condition and then stop condition. Test it now once again. Okay. Close all other incidents. Test incident. See, you have to create some hundreds of incidents for your testing purpose just to be aligned with your experience. Okay, I'm going to create two incidents. Okay, one incident with the category is equal to database TB technical issue. Okay, and save it. Okay, now create another case with inquiry. Yeah, leave it. Save it. Scroll down. Did it attached? No, it did not attached for a database. Did we save this? Priority. Okay, yeah. Check that. This is a low priority, so it did not attached. Make it critical. Save it. Scroll down. Successful. Make it
Yes, sir.
priority. Yeah. Now it should not be attached according to our expectations. Test successful. It is not attached. Now further test it. Okay. If the SLA is moving to in progress, then automatically this should be completed. Okay, because we have met the stop condition. Okay, so go back and test it. Completed. Is that clear, Chaitanya?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay. For a testing purpose, just missed SLA, I want to reduce it to 2 minutes. Okay, or 3 minutes. Okay. We will create one sample ticket and then we will configure meanwhile resolution SLA for our testing purpose. We will see if that is missed. If it is missed, how that will be reflected. We will test it. That scenario also. Okay. For that particular purpose, response SLA, I changed it to 3 minutes. Just remember this. Okay. Just for testing purpose, I have changed it to less number. Though it is a 15 minutes time period. I'm creating a P1 ticket for database and I will leave this particular SLA continuing. Okay. Now if you come down, it will say 3 minutes already. It is waiting for 2 minutes. We will quickly do one more SLA definition for resolution SLA. We want to configure resolution SLA also, right? That is 4 hours. Simple as you know, but we will add pause condition to test it. Click new SLA definition and then come down to name. This is just for naming convention, or sometimes like they will say 2.2.1. Okay, and then for incident management you are configuring. Okay, so naming conventions are going to be little different. Just for your practice, I'm doing it. Incident SLA, incident resolution SLA, resolution P1, yes, 4 hours. Okay, so this will be sometime kind of naming convention. This is how it will look, because when they are coming down to here, like they will look into this name and then they'll just quickly identify what kind of SLA it is. Okay, the senior resources, they will not find time. They'll quickly come up and then say looking, okay, this is the incident, this is blah blah blah. They'll quickly identify. Okay, so that's how they do that. Now let's create a new SLA here. That is how I named it, and this is my SLA. Okay, fine, and this is my resolution SLA. And I'm leaving the default flow. Duration is 4 hours is what we are agreeing. and then schedule is 24/7. Okay, and time zone is callers time zone. Start condition when, again same, it should be SLA initial, it should be attached immediately as soon as the incident is created, right? It will be new, and then category is database, and priority is P1. Is P1. This is your start condition. And then stop condition is if the state is resolved. Okay, if the state is resolved, then it's fine, right? And in between, if I need some information from customer, what I will do? If I need some information from customer, what we will do? We will put the ticket on hold and then make it call waiting for caller, right? If caller is not supplying, like how can I resolve it? Correct. So that scenario, if the if the state is pending, if the state is on hold, sorry, go to pause condition. If the state is on hold, if the state is on hold, then put the ticket on you know on hold. Okay, if the state is on hold, then immediately put it on pause. Okay, so that is what I configured. I provided start, pause, and then stop. Okay, save it and then create a new ticket for testing purpose. Okay, leave our test ticket here. Let's check what happened to this 2022 while that is saving. Come down, reload it, reload it. Come down. See, has breached is true. Now we will be paying penalty. You can see that it is breached. It is breached. Okay. Now, even if you move it to in progress, okay, even if you move it to in progress, by the time damage is already done, it is breached. SLA is completed. SLA is completed. Okay, which means like you have completed, you progressed, so you are completed. But by then it is already breached. This field is very dangerous field. This is backend automated. So if you have not resolved the ticket within the time, then this will be automatically set to true. Okay. Now you noticed it, right? The breached process. Let's test this 2.2.1. Okay. For example. Okay. Now come down to incident process. Create incident. Able total. Category is equal to database. Test. Test. And no, no, I'll not assign it to anybody. And now save it. Let's test. First, it should not attach anything because it's not a P1. Now change this to in progress. Sorry, let it be new, but change this to critical ticket. Okay. Now our two SLA should be attached to both response and resolution. Come down. Attached successfully. Okay. Now progress it. Go to in progress. Your response SLA should be completed. Response SLA should be completed. Completed. Is it breached? No, right?
No. No.
It is breached. No. Now coming down to resolution SLA. Put this resolution SLA on hold. Now, according to our configuration, it should be on hold, right?
Yes, sir.
SLA should be on hold. Is SLA passed or not? Now the ticket is on hold. Is SLA passed?
Fast.
Okay. Now go back to in progress. Okay. Okay, paused one is not activated. There is a bug. Come down to paused condition. Okay. Resume. Okay. Resume conditions are not met. It should be like this. Pause conditions are not met. Then it should be automatically set up. This should be by default. It is changed. Okay. This SLA is, what we have implemented has a bug. I changed it to if the conditions are not met, immediately it should be resumed. Right now, my SLA test is failed. Okay, my test is not successful. It just stuck in the past. I have I moved it back to in progress. Then the SLA should start clocking it. Okay, it failed, but the final one will work because if I resolved it, then the SLA will be completed. But meanwhile, my test is failed. Okay, so let's reconfigure it though. Just let's retest with another ticket because I have modified it in the SLA, changed it to the back. Pause conditions are not met, but I'm just for awareness, though it is partially successful, but it is having a bug. Let's retest it with another ticket. Okay, open another one. Abel tutor. Okay, test categories database, and then it's a P1 ticket. It should be attaching two SLAs. It should be attaching two SLAs. Done. Okay. Now change it to in progress. ITL user. Okay, and test your response SLA should be fulfilled. Okay. Successful. Okay. Now pause it. Now check the pause conditions. Your SLA should be paused. Okay. Till here it is successful. Test it again, change it back to in progress. Now it should be started clocking again. It should be resumed. Okay. Resumed. Okay. Now again put it to past. Test it fully. No worries, no hurries. Okay. Configure it. Scroll down. It's passed. Okay. Now let's progress it. Ideally, this should not be allowed. You should always go back to in progress. This is all as I said, process life cycle, how that need to be managed. We talked about example, right? So you will be asked to follow that. Now I'm resolving it. Okay, your SLA before resolving is in progress. I'm now saving it. Okay, now this is resolved. Your SLA is also completed. So this is how you will be configuring all other SLAs. So in altogether, you will be having 8 different records, 8 different things that you will be configuring under your SLA definitions to align with all your priorities. Okay, so is this topic is clear? Any questions? Hemant?
It's clear. No questions from my end.
Okay, good. Chaitanya, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Can you practice tomorrow?
Yes, sir. Tomorrow I need to practice.
Perfect. Rani?
Yes, sir. It is pretty clear.
So if you have any questions, please do